Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Saturday, April the 14th, and welcome to our video commentary. Today we're going to talk about April 14th. A couple of very interesting things happened on April 14th in world history, fairly recent world history to say the least. First, we have to go back to 1865. It was on this day, April 14th, 1865, that President Lincoln was shot in Washington, D.C. The president and the first lady went to see a play at the Forest Theater, and while he was there enjoying the show, about 9:30 or 10 o'clock that evening, he was shot. They took him across the street to a home across the street, where he eventually died the next morning about 7 o'clock in the morning. There was probably very little chance that he would survive the shot. John Wilkes Booth got pretty close to him and took a shot at him right behind his head. So he probably had very little chance of surviving. But it was an interesting time for President Lincoln. The war had just ended about a week before, the war between the states, the Civil War. And he had just been re-inaugurated for a second term in early March. And by all accounts, by the things that we can read about his presidency and some of the people who have written about him, it seems like he was in a pretty good mood at that time. You know, the war was over, and I think he was looking forward to a second term, a full second term of doing something to bring the country together. Unfortunately, he didn't get to do it because he was killed on April 14th, 1865, and was officially pronounced dead early the next morning. Also on this day, on April 14th, 1912, the Titanic hit the iceberg that eventually sank the ship in the North Atlantic. The Titanic was traveling to New York. I don't know how far into the trip they were, halfway or whatever, I don't know. But it hit the iceberg, and of course it sank in the North Atlantic. The Titanic has always been a fascinating story for every generation. It seems like every generation makes a movie about the Titanic. Obviously, recently, there was a very famous movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and I think Karen Winslow, I think that's her name, who played the young couple who met and fell in love during the trip. But there were also other movies. I remember one time watching a movie, A Night to Remember, about the Titanic. It seems like there's always been a fascination with the story itself, the ship and the people who perished. There's always been a fascination with that story, and I think we see it just about, as I say, in every generation, where either a movie or a new book or whatever is written or presented about that terrible tragedy on this day in 1912. So thank you for watching. We have all of these at YouTube. We have them on Twitter. We have them on my blog. Have a wonderful weekend. Kind of all dressed up today, and I'll tell you why maybe some other time. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good day.